Bonjour, Kinamagi Nene Arlen Dishnikas, and welcome to the third installment of our weekly Week at a Glance videos. We will begin in our Google Classroom. This is accessible by students using their @sagchipschool.net emails. You'll notice that they're over here on the waffles. You click there, there's a to-do. Please make sure that you don't actually look at that, because we don't grade papers other than the citizenship quizzes off of this page. It might create some undue stress at home. My contact information is there, and you're always welcome to reach out to me. If you send me an email or a text, I will respond as quickly as I can. If the message comes at 2:30 in the morning, it might be a couple hours. We have the newsletter. We'll talk about that in just a moment. The September breakfast and lunch menus, last week's Week at a Glance and newsletter, Friday folders, and you can kind of see some of the older information. We try to remove them newsletters a couple weeks later, so this one will probably go away soon. Breakfast and lunch menu from August will disappear in a very short order. For students, they have a classwork tab. You can see it still has Wednesday, because it's when I'm recording this video, Zoom link. So that's right there. If you were home, the student could click on it, scroll down, hit the launch meeting. The things in gray they can't see. That's on my end. Week at a Glance videos are posted here as well for students. Writing A to Z, Science A to Z, Reading A to Z are all using this link, the Kids A to Z login. Words Their Way is spelling. That will launch not next week, but the following week. And that's done online. And students could choose, like, say they don't understand something in chapter 1, lesson 2. They could watch a previously made video, although the Google Voice number has changed since I created this video, which I believe I want to say I created it in 2020. During the COVID lockdowns and hybrid learning situations. Find our social studies for each week. I'll have a new one up here very shortly. Citizenship, and then these are some of our online resources. And at the end, some culture and language. We'll be adding to all of these areas sooner than later. Also, want to remind you of our sagchipschool.net. It is the education department website, although you see the SagChip Academy name there. There is a live feed, so if you happen to lose track of mine, you could look through and get the breakfast and lunch from any device. You don't need to be in a Google Classroom to reach this. School calendar is there, important events, and this is where you can download to get the text messages from our administrators. There's also a menu for teacher pages, and you can find me right here. Click on the 5th grade, and then any announcements are right there for you. Let's go ahead and go to the newsletter. The important note, the reason this video is being recorded on Wednesday for a Thursday dissemination is there's no school on Friday. It is Labor Day weekend. You will have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off, so 4-day weekend. And then we'll be back at a regular time on Tuesday. This is the link to get the SCA webpage and app that we just mentioned. Also, important note, we are in fall testing. The NWEA will be coming out likely next week. We used to talk about here's what we do during testing, but it's so important for kids to get a good night's sleep that this should be every night. And then eating a healthy breakfast. We do serve breakfast here at the school. So if your student is a little bit slow getting up, you get here, we'll feed them. I'll see to it. Homework is a regular part of our day. Check with your student on Tuesday and Thursday to see if they've completed their homework for that day. Any other work that's not completed during class also becomes homework, but Tuesdays and Thursdays are with the sheer purpose of being part of getting them ready for middle school. If you're seeing this video, receive this email. So you have that. Here's what we are continuing unit on place value. We'll be wrapping that up and going into multiplication soon. Social studies, we've already wrapped up chapter 1 here at the middle of the second week, or lesson 1, I should say, on geography. And now we're going to start going into the indigenous history of the Americas. Obviously, it's just a very small piece of it. Kind of an overview, as you know, that we could spend 5 years and not barely scratch the surface. Science, we are working on ecosystems and food webs in the web of life. And you can see our language corner, and now we're going to be asking where people are from and where they live now. Our week 3 learning plan, and again, this is always subject to change. Usually about 5 minutes after I hit send, I find something that needs to be tweaked. We'll get it right eventually. But it gives you an idea of what we're covering in each subject. And you can see that there's a lot of spots that say NWEA. Tentatively, we're looking at Wednesday and Thursday. Some students definitely will continue into Friday or into the next week. So we're not going to do a regular reading lesson. We have some Scholastic and Super STEM. We will have our writing. Math will continue pretty much as normal. Science as well, although kind of crammed into 3 days instead of 4 or 5. We'll continue with social studies into our new unit, a new lesson. Our math review and enrichment, web and tech, we try to get to each day. Some days are more likely than others, but we have a plan for when we do. These are all important things and things that can be done at home as well. And you can see what we're doing in groups. Now that we're about 2 weeks in, if you have any questions, concerns, anything you'd like to share, please do reach out to me either at miellen@sagchip.org or miellen@sagchipschool.net. More than happy to touch base with you on your student, and more than likely we'll be starting to reach out over the next week or two and kind of just touch base with you as well and how your student is doing, tips, things that they can tweak and we can all work together on. Again, our goal is to make sure that our students are prepared for middle school, and we all work together on that. Well, with this 4-day weekend coming, it'll be Tuesday when I see your students. But if you have any questions during the weekend, just send me an email and I will still respond as quickly as I can. I don't do at 4 o'clock on Friday. I am incognito until Monday. You just have to give me a little time sometimes to respond, particularly if there's a Detroit City Football Club match that I'm in Detroit for. Don't check my email during games. But otherwise, you'll probably hear from me. So I hope everyone has a great weekend and it's safe, and it looks like it's supposed to be pretty warm. Maybe a good day to hit the beach again. Your students have an idea of a good one. And I hope we all see everyone happy, healthy, and rearing to go for week 3 on Tuesday. Minwa, Amapi.